Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you for joining today. Last 2 days, we had a wonderful association of so many of all of you, and we discussed the Bhagavatamrita, the Bhagavat Mahatmya, the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, and we discussed the story of Narada Muni and Bhakti Devi. We discussed the story of Gokarna and Dhundukari. And after understanding the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, today, with the blessings of Guru and Gauranga, we will start the reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. Now remember, we are doing one canto, a canto a week or canto in 3 days, 4 days, depending on the chapters. The first canto has 19 chapters. So we'll divide it into 3 sections. Today, we'll cover first 6 chapters of the first canto. Then tomorrow, the next 6, and then the final 7 day after tomorrow. So by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, we should be able to cover this entire canto in 3 days. And we are completely unqualified to be able to speak on this, but very, very grateful to be given this mercy that we do not deserve, to be able to speak to everyone on Srimad Bhagavatam, as we have heard from our Guru Vargas. So the first chapter, before we begin, we'll pray for the mercy from the previous acharyas. Welcome Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Prem S, Sudhakar Ghandikota, and Vijeta Arora Mataji. Thank you very much for joining. Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam Prampuranam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Vargena Vakalpita. All right, so since we have to cover 6 chapters, get your notes and pens, and we will try to give an analysis of the first 6 chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. At the same time, we'll try to enter into the mood of the personalities who are described in Srimad Bhagavatam as a means of anusmarana, to try to experience and feel, to whatever extent we can, in our own limited way, what they were going through, and try to relate that through the experiences of life that we have. And that is how we will be able to be absorbed in Srimad Bhagavatam. So that will be the purpose today. We start with the first chapter. The first 3 verses, they glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. Yesterday, Kalasudha had ended by beautifully rendering the verse of the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. And this reminds us that Srila Prabhupada, he remembers that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in the Vrajadham, when they were going for Vrajmandal Parikrama, Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had a Bhagavat Saptah for 7 days, and he spoke for almost a month, it seems, on the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, the entire month of Kartik. And all the devotees were like, yes, it's good to hear, but then, we have come all the way to Vrindavan. We don't know when we'll come again for this Vrajamandal Parikrama. We want to see all the places of pastimes of Krishna. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur kind of read their mind, and he said, you know what, anyone who wants to go for parikrama can go for parikrama. I'm going to continue speaking here on the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. And a lot of devotees left, but Srila Prabhupada stayed there, and he heard the instructions of his spiritual master for the entire month, just on the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, we can actually, the activities that happen in the spiritual world, we can write a magazine every day on the kind of activities that happen in the spiritual world. So, dear devotees and friends, let's try to absorb ourselves into that world. The problems in this material world will continue. The coronavirus has come. We all are praying for each other and helping each other, but this will pass away. But when it passes away, something else will come. If we just become absorbed in the happiness and distresses of this world, we will lose the golden opportunity of this human form of life to absorb ourselves into the other realm, into the other world of the beautiful pastimes and the enjoyment of Sri Krishna. So after 3 verses glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam in chapter 1, Shukadev Sutta Goswami, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, not Sutta Goswami, he says, Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukhamukhad amrita drava samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. It says, Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam, that this Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence, is the fruit of the tree of Vedic literatures. I see that several devotees have joined, Sweta, Surya Narayan, Jayananda Prabhu, and many others. Welcome. Here it says, Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukha mukha amrita drava samyutam, that this is the nectar that is coming out from the mouth of Shukadev Goswami. And what is that nectar? That's the essence of the fruit of the Vedic tree. And it is said, when a parrot tastes the fruit, it becomes much more sweeter. Which means that Shukadev Goswami, he's the transcendental parrot of Srimati Radharani. And when he tastes the sweet fruit of Srimad Bhagavatam, it becomes much more sweeter. Srimad Bhagavatam is sweet itself. The pastimes of the Lord are sweet in themselves. But when it is tasted by Shukadev Goswami, by Shuka, by the parrot, transcendental parrot of Srimati Radharani, it becomes much more tasteful. And who drinks the nectar of this tasteful fruit? Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavuka. All the devotees who are transcendental and who are very, very advanced, they can actually taste this nectar. So all of us, all of you here joining, they are actually tasting the nectar. So this Srimad Bhagavatam starts with the holy place of Naimisharanya, which Srila Prabhupada says in the purport is the center of the cosmos. If you draw a line, the center of the cosmos will actually pass through Naimisharanya. So it has a lot of magnetic energy, spiritual energy surcharged, that place, the forest of Naimisharanya. So all these sages of Naimisharanya, they came together. This was almost 230 years after the disappearance of Lord Krishna. Kali Yuga was starting to come in. And these sages who were pure in heart, they were seeing all of these people. Why is everyone suffering? Why is everyone so disturbed? We should do some yajna, get together and see what we can do about it. And so they found that Sutta Goswami was going from there, and they inquired from Sutta Goswami. They started asking questions. They started glorifying. First, before they asked questions, Srimad Bhagavatam says they glorified Srila Sutta Goswami. This is Vaishnava etiquette. When we speak to someone, a devotee, non-devotee, anyone, we first glorify them so that whatever we are asking or conveying to them comes from a very, very good place in our heart, a place of humility, a place of love and respect. So they started glorifying. But nowadays, if we want some benediction, we just go to the Lord. Instead of glorifying, we just fold our hands and start our list, take it out from our back pocket. One time, Srila Prabhupada was traveling in a train, and one person, because he was in a train, it was an open compartment, devotees were all around, and one person passed by. And he was like, this person seems to be someone who is very, very learned and is a sadhu. Let me get some blessings. So he came, he took his hat off, and he sat in front of Srila Prabhupada in the train compartment, and he said, please bless me, blessings, blessings, Ashirvad dijiye. And Srila Prabhupada looked at him, and then he looked at all his devotees who were all shaven-headeds. He said, are you sure you want my blessings? And this person said, yes, Ashirvad, I need your blessings. He said, this is what happens if you get my blessings. Are you ready to shave your head and join me? And this devotee was, this person was, let me think for a while and get back to you. So first, we should not just go and ask for blessings. We need to first glorify the person and then submit ourselves humbly. Blessings mean blessings mean to begging to be given the opportunity to serve. Blessings means to serve. So that is very important here. We should hear from a bona fide representative of Vyasadeva, as explained by in Srimad Bhagavatam, just like Sutta Goswami, just like Shukadev Goswami. And before Sutta Goswami starts speaking, he explains, look, personally, I have no qualification, but you know what? I was in the assembly when Shukadev Goswami was speaking to Maharaj Parikshit. And because I heard that holy conversation, that's why I will just simply recite what I have heard. I have put it in my life, implemented in my life, and I will now repeat it. And so we should understand that a bona fide representative of Srila Vyasadeva is the person who can sit on the Vyasasana. That's why it's called Vyasa Asana, the seat of Srila Vyasadeva. Because a person who is a bona fide representative, who has heard submissively in the parampara coming from Srila Vyasadeva, is qualified. And Sutta Goswami was qualified in that sense. So then the sages started asking. They asked 6 questions. This is very important. This is something that you will have to note down. The entire Srimad Bhagavatam is the answer to these 6 questions of these great sages. What are the 6 questions? First, what is the absolute and ultimate good for people in general? This is asked in the first chapter, 9th verse. 11th verse says, what is the essence of all scriptures? The third question, why Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, why did he even appear? Fourth question, please tell us, what are the acts of the Lord that he performs in relationship to creating the material world? Remember all these cantos, the third and fourth cantos, which describe in detail about the creation, and sometimes it seems very dry. But Shukadev Goswami is answering these questions. Sutta Goswami is answering these questions based on Shukadev Goswami, because this is what the sages asked. Then the fifth question, please describe the activities of the incarnations of the Lord. And finally, sixth, where have the religious principles disappeared after Krishna's disappearance? Krishna disappeared 230 years ago from the time this conversation was going on. Where have these religious principles gone? Because we see in the entire world is bereft of religious principles. So this is very important. These 6 questions, again, I'll repeat. First one, what is the absolute and ultimate good for people? Second, what is the essence of all scriptures? Third, why did Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appear? Fourth, what are the acts of the Lord in relationship to creation? Fifth, describe the activities and incarnations of the Lord. And sixth, where have the religious principles gone after Krishna's disappearance? So the first 2 questions are about general people and about the scripture. What is the essence of scripture? Then the next 3 questions is on the appearance and activities of the Lord. And the final question is on the disappearance of Krishna. What happened after the disappearance of Krishna? And one of our great acharyas, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he has provided commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, and he actually explains, because if we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we may even the first chapter, we may miss these questions. We may think this is just a part of the conversation, but to extract these questions out from this conversation is what our previous acharyas have already done for us. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, one of the great acharyas, he says these are the 6 questions. The entire Bhagavatam is the answer to these 6 questions. And then he also says, where are specific answers to these 6 questions? For the first question, the answer is in the 2nd chapter. What is the absolute and ultimate good for people in general? That's in the 2nd chapter, 6th to 7th verse. For the second question, what is the essence of scriptures? It's there in the 2nd chapter, 28th verse of the 1st canto. Why did Krishna appear? That's the 3rd question. That is, the answer is to reclaim those in the mode of pure goodness. That is answered in 34th verse of the 2nd chapter, and also in the 9th and 10th cantos about why Krishna actually appeared. Then the 4th question is about the creation of the material world, and that is answered in the 2nd chapter, 30 to 33rd verse in short, and then in detail in 3rd and 4th cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then it talks about 5th question, what are the activities of the incarnations of the Lord? That's in the 3rd chapter, it explains. 22 incarnations are described, and then he describes in the 3rd chapter there are unlimited incarnations, but I'm just describing 22. But you know what? The most important thing is Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we get to the 3rd chapter, we'll discuss this in a little more detail. And finally, where have the religious principles gone after Krishna's disappearance? That is the real question. Now we are talking. That's answered in the 3rd chapter, 43rd verse. Krishne swadhama upagate dharma jnanadhibhi saha kalau nashtadrisham mesha puranarko dhunotita. This Bhagavata Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Now hear carefully. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. This is the translation of the verse, which explains what happened. The final question, the last question, is answered first. Sometimes in our question paper, we used to go, okay, we have all these questions. Let me attempt the question that I know the answer about. And so it seems that Sudha Goswami answered the last question first, and the way he answered it was brilliant. This Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun. Krishna Swadhama Upagate, after Krishna left to his own Dhama, Dharma Jnanadhibi Saha, when he left, he didn't go alone. He took Dharma and Jnana along with him. Kalau Nashta Drisham Esha, Puran Arko Dhunotita. So what's left? All religion has gone. What is left? What's left is this Srimad Bhagavat Purana, which is Arka, as brilliant as the sun. And then the sages of Naimisharanya, they are so submissive and so submissively asking questions. In fact, Srimad Bhagavatam is the manual for Vaishnava etiquette. It everywhere, even though it's just question answers, but it describes in what mood the question was asked. And in what mood does Shukadev Goswami answer, or Sutta Goswami answers these questions. We should learn how a guru-disciple relationship should be based on Sutta Goswami and the sages of Naimisharanya, based on Shukadev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. You will see with such love and devotion and respect and humility, they are asking these questions. And with the same humility, it is being reciprocated and responded by the Guru. One time, a Guru asked his disciple that, disciple, get ready for a journey. We are going to go for a journey. A disciple was excited. Yes, we are going to go for a journey. He packed all the clothes of Guru and the belongings of Guru, and the Guru sat on the horse. And as the Guru was going on the horse, and the disciple was walking alongside the horse to help him. And after some time, the Guru's shawl falls down, and the Guru is just immersed and absorbed in meditation and transcendence. And so he doesn't notice. The disciple notices that, but he's like, no, look, I'm a disciple. I should follow exactly what my Guru tells me to do. My Guru didn't tell me to lift it, to pick up the shawl that has fallen. I'm not going to do it unless my Guru tells me to. And so after some time, the Guru asks, hey, I had a shawl. Where is the shawl? Can you give me the shawl? And the disciple says, well, Guru Maharaj, your shawl, it fell down a long time ago. It fell down. Why didn't you tell me? And the disciple says, well, if you tell me, I will. You didn't instruct me. I'm your disciple. If you instruct me, I'll do it. If you don't, I won't do it. The Guru says, all right. Okay. Now I'm instructing you. Whatever falls down from this horse, just pick it up. Will you? And so the disciple says, yes, Guru Maharaj, you've given me the instruction. I will follow the instruction. And so this time the horse is going by and the Guru is on top of the horse, and the horse passes stool. And the disciple, the eager disciple, the very obedient disciple says, my Guru Maharaj said, whatever falls down from the horse, I should pick it up. He goes and picks the lumps of stool and gives it to Guru Maharaj. This is my offering to you. You gave me the instruction. I gave it back to you. And the Guru says, ew, this is muchi. Throw it. Why did you pick this up? Guru Maharaj, you only told me to pick up whatever falls down from the horse. And Guru says, all right, you know what? I'll give you a list. If anything falls down from this list, which belongs to me, just pick that up. Okay? And he says, all right, yes, Guru Maharaj, I will follow instruction. He has the list. After some time, the Guru is on the horse. He's going. There's a bump on the road. The horse becomes a bit turbulent, and the Guru falls down. And the horse keeps walking, and the disciple keeps walking along with the horse. And the Guru is falling down. Hey, disciple, pick me up. And the disciple says, Well, Guru Maharaj, you are not in the list. And the Guru is, oh my God, what will I do with this disciple? So we should not be like that disciple. Technically, the disciple was following everything that he was asked to, but he forgot the essence. He was just following the rule of letter of law, letter of the instruction, not the essence of the instruction. That is what we get by following Vaishnava etiquette, by being in the mood of service. A first class disciple is someone who understands the mood of the Guru and serves to please the Guru rather than expecting the Guru to please me, please the disciple. That's not the mood. Service mood is whatever the Guru is doing, that's fine. Let me see how I can assist. Then Krishna sees within the heart, oh, this person is so sincerely trying to serve the Shiksha Guru, the Diksha Guru. I will give them advancement from within the heart. This is explained in the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sutta Goswami says, Shushushto Shraddha Danasya Vasudeva Katharuchi Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nishevanat Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridiyantastho Havadrani Vidhunoti Surit Satam Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. This explains that Shushrushto Shraddha Danasya, if we hear attentively Vasudeva Kataruchi, then what happens? We get taste for hearing the pastimes of Vasudeva. Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra, and one who performs the service to the devotees. Mahat Sevaya Vipra, Punya Tirtha Nishevanat. He performs the greatest service. Then it says, Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, one who hears Krishna's Katha. When Krishna hears that this person is hearing my Krishna Katha, my Katha, Swakatha Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, he's hearing and chanting both. Hridayastohi abhadrani. Then what happens? The Paramatma within the heart removes the knots. When we are serving the Guru, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, with the mood to please them rather than expecting something from them, then Paramatma within the heart observes. No one observes. Maybe the Guru may also not notice that you are doing this service. Other devotees may not notice that we are doing this service. But guess what? The Paramatma notices. A baby ant, a black baby ant on a dark night, on a dark rock, no one notices, but the Paramatma notices. And what he does when he sees such service attitude, Hridayantastohi abhadrani, all the misgivings that are there in the heart, lust, anger, pride, greed, envy, attachments, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mad, matsarya, vidhunoti surit satam. He just completely purifies all of those misgivings. That's the secret of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then we come to the famous verse that we recite every day. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Here it explains there are two kinds of Bhagavata. There is a person Bhagavata and there is a book Bhagavata. We should serve both. We should serve Srimad Bhagavatam by hearing attentively daily. That's why Srila Prabhupada, he established in ISKCON, all ISKCON temples, every day Srimad Bhagavatam class, one verse a day. But here Srimad Bhagavatam. Serve the book Bhagavatam and serve the person Bhagavata. The person Bhagavata is the person who is implementing the book Bhagavata in his life, in his or her life. And we serve them. And then all the Nashta Prayeshu, Abhadreshu, all the Abhadra, all the misgivings will be eradicated. Here we will explain in chapter 4 and 5 about Narada Muni, how Narada Muni also attained perfection by serving the person Bhagavata. by serving the Bhakti Vedantas. And we will discuss that in a few minutes. But this ends chapter 2. Chapter 3 starts where it's explained about Krishna is the source of all the incarnations. It explains about 22 incarnations and then unlimited incarnations. But it says, Ete cham sakala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indradi Vyakulam Loke Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. That I have just explained all the portions and the plenary portions and portions of plenary portions of the Supreme Lord. But you know what? Of all the incarnations that I just said, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is not an incarnation. He is the avatari. Krishna is not an avatar. He is the avatari, the source of all incarnations. Bhagavan Swayam. Indrari Vyakulam Loke Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. And those who are impious, Indra Ari, those who are the enemies of the demigods, he comes to annihilate them again and again. And then he explains about the Purusha avatars, 3 Purusha avatars, the Karanodakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Kshirodakshai Vishnu. There is not just one Vishnu, there are 3 Vishnus. And they all come from Krishna. As explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Karanodakshai Vishnu is the Mahavishnu. And then the Mahavishnu comes and from his pores, each pore, just like we have sweat drops, from each of the pore, there are universes which come out. As many pores, that many universes. And Karanodakshai Vishnu is just sleeping. In his dream, this whole creation is happening. We are right now in the dream of Karanodakshai Vishnu. He's also called as Mahavishnu. Karanodaksh, he is Karana Udaka. He's the cause, the causal ocean, the Karana, cause of everything. Garbhodakshai Vishnu. In each of these universes that are coming from the pores, there is the sweat drop and there is the bubble. And the sweat drop is an ocean. And in that ocean is called Garbha Udaka ocean. Garbha means the belly. Garbha means the womb. The Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Vishnu is sitting on the Sheshnag there, within each and every universe. And from his navel, there is a lotus stem which comes out. And on top of the lotus stem, there is the lotus flower where Brahma comes from there. That's why he's called Padmaja. One who comes from Padma, from lotus, is Brahma. And then Kshirodakshai Vishnu is the third expansion of Vishnu who enters into each and every atom, the space between the atom and within the heart of every living entity. That is Kshirodakshai Vishnu. When the source of the incarnations or the incarnations come through the medium of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. All these details are explained in this beautiful Srimad Bhagavatam in the 3rd canto. And when the demigods are in trouble, guess who they go to? They go to the Kshirodakshai Vishnu in the Kshirodaksha Sagar. Kshira Udaka. Kshira means milk. Milk Sagar. Milk ocean. They go there where Kshirodakshai Vishnu is there. And they pray. Purusha Sukta prayers. Please help us, save us, come and incarnate. So similarly, then it explains about so many material forms of the Lord and the living beings. The material form of the Lord and the living beings are imaginary. This is something which is very important. The Lord is completely transcendental. How come he has a material form? There is a material form of the Lord, and it's called the Virat Rupa. And this Virat Rupa of the Lord, form of the Lord, is imaginary. And this is very, very essential. This concept is important to understand if we want to understand the disappearance of Krishna, which we will understand in a few sessions. But keep note of this point about the material forms of the Lord, which is the Virat Rupa. It is imaginary. The external form of the living beings is also imaginary. If we want to see Lord Krishna in person in Srimad Bhagavatam, then we have to do these 4 things. This is how chapter 3 ends. If you want to see Sri Krishna in the person in Srimad Bhagavatam, we should hear Srimad Bhagavatam with attention. We should know who is God. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is my relationship with him? I am the eternal servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. And finally, what is my ultimate destination after I leave my body? If we reach Srimad Bhagavatam with this attitude, with attention, with absorption, then we will be able to, Krishna will manifest in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam for such a devotee. Then we go to chapter 4, which gets interesting. 4, 5, 6 are very, very interesting chapters because Veda Vyasa here is very despondent. And he has compiled, he's the greatest scholar, but he is desperate, he's despondent, he's disappointed. And he has created the Vedanta Sutras. From there, he created the Vedas. From there, he created the Upanishads. And he wrote the Mahabharata and everything. But he is not satisfied within his heart. Just then, his spiritual master, Narada Muni, enters. And Narada Muni, he understands that something is disturbing you, Vyasadeva. Because as soon as Narada Muni came out of etiquette, Veda Vyas is trying to serve him. And Narada Muni is saying he's serving, but this out of etiquette. But there is something which is disturbing you. What is disturbing you, Veda Vyas? And Veda Vyas says, I have compiled this whole thing. But why am I not satisfied? So we should perform Anusmarana on Veda Vyas. Just imagine. When we are in such despondent situation, we have done our best. We have given our best in our service to our Guru and Krishna. But we don't know, we are not sure whether we did our service properly or not. This is exactly the same situation that Veda Vyas was going through. Whenever we find ourselves in this situation, rather than mulling over it, we should absorb ourselves in how Veda Vyas must be feeling. This is what I'm feeling right now is just a minuscule of what Veda Vyas must be feeling. But when we do that, we enter into Srimad Bhagavatam, into the world of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is where we should reside. So remember this Anusmarana. And then Narada Muni, he glorifies Veda Vyas and he says, there is one thing you have not done. You have not directly glorified Lord Shri Krishna. You have not directly glorified the devotional service, Bhakti Yoga to Lord Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna is always a side character, is a side personality in all your scriptures, because your focus is to attract people who are not attracted to Krishna. So you don't want him to be the focus. But that is the exact reason why you are not satisfied. In order to be satisfied, O Veda Vyas, write Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence of all the Vedic literatures, and directly glorify Shri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he tells, look, I also was in the same despondency. And he tells about the pastime of Narada Muni. Narada Muni himself says that. We'll end with this pastime of Srila Narada Muni, where Narada Muni was a small boy, and in his previous life, he was serving with his mother. His mother was used to work in different homes. She was a maidservant. And one time in that home, some Bhakti Vedantas came. A few great devotees like Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is called His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Such Bhakti Vedantas came, and this maidservant, mother of Narada Muni, was serving them. Was serving, cooking for them, was cleaning their plates. And little Narada Muni in his previous life, he was going and serving some prasad. He was cleaning their plates. He was going and sitting when they were discussing Krishna Katha. He was sitting and watching, and then see if there's any service needed. He would go and come. He would do some menial services where no one would notice him. That is the service attitude we must have. Sometimes when we perform service in the temple, service to Guru and Krishna, we feel, is my Guru noticing? Does my Guru even know that I'm doing this? And how can I show my Guru Maharaj that, look, I did such a great service for you? But if we want to become great like Narada Muni, we should follow his uh, role model. What he did, he was menial service. It was as if a fly on the wall. No one noticed, but he performed that service. As a result of service, Krishna within the heart, vidhunoti surit satam, purified his mind and his heart. And then these Bhakti Vedantas left. One day his mother had gone to the forest. She went to the forest. This little boy waited for his mother and waited and waited. And she never came back. She was bit by a snake in the forest. And this person, this little boy, he was just orphaned. He didn't know where to go, what to do. Only thing that he could take shelter was something that he had heard from these Bhakti Vedantas. He had seen these Bhakti Vedantas, those who he had served so menially. He had seen them, that they were performing certain austerities, they were chanting mantras, they were sitting and performing meditation on Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And he said, let me take shelter of these sound vibrations, just like these Bhakti Vedantas did. That is the effect of serving great devotees. When we serve great devotees without any expectation, but just to please them, a very important thing happens. Their consciousness gets transferred into us. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Bhakta pada dhuliya, bhakta pada jal, bhakta bhukta avashesh tina mahabal. There are three sources of great strength. Mahabal, bhakta pada dhuliya, the dust from the lotus feet of a devotee. Bhakta pada jal, the water which has washed the lotus feet of a devotee. Bhakta bhukta avashesh, the remnants of food left by the devotee. Narada Muni subsisted on the remnants left by these Bhakti Vedantas. And when he served them, this transfer of consciousness happened. And he was inspired from within to take shelter of the Lord in his dire situation. This is another anusmarana. This is another way we can absorb ourselves into Srimad Bhagavatam. When we go through such terrible things, like we are isolated right now. There is social distancing. No one is allowed to go out. In this situation, let us imagine what Narada Muni had gone through. He was orphaned. He was isolated from the entire society. But in such desperate situation, what did he do? Narada Muni, he took shelter of the holy names of the Lord, of the smarana of the Lord. Taking shelter means to completely surrender, to be able to just have proper faith, and with that faith, just do something that pleases Krishna, and not think about anything else when we chant the holy names. And then when Narada Muni was performing his austerity and his penance and his meditation as directed by the Bhakti Vedanta, suddenly something happened. In his meditation, he had a glimpse of the Lord. He had never seen such beauty, and he was completely enamored, and his eyes opened. Just for a moment, he saw such beauty, such power. He was completely attracted. It's like, what was that? What experience was that? What did I just see? And he again closed his eyes and he tried to find the same experience, but he could not. And then he tried and tried and tried, and he just could not, and became so desperate. He was so eager to get back into that association of the Lord that he just saw that a voice from the sky said, my dear boy, you will not be able to see me again in this life, but continue your devotional service, continue your meditation. In the next life, you will always remember me as Narada Muni. And then Narada Muni performed that, and then in the next life, he became Narada Muni. Our Srila Prabhupada, he said many times, we are in the parampara of Narada Muni. And Srila Prabhupada said, I am also cursed like Narada Muni to travel everywhere. Just like Narada Muni preached to different kinds of people, he preached to the kings, he preached to snakes, he preached to Mrigari the hunter, he preached to so many different people of different classes of society. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada preached to the masses as well as the classes. He preached to the kings. He preached to the government officials. He preached to great singers like George Harrison, and he preached to very simple thieves and devotees, people. So, with this meditation on the glorification of Srila Prabhupada, let us end this today, the first 6 chapters, praying to Srila Prabhupada, praying to Srila Vyasadeva, praying to Srila Narada Muni, Sri Shukadev Goswami, and the sages of Naimisharanya, Sri Sutta Goswami, that please allow us to be absorbed in your pastimes, and grant us the taste in hearing and chanting your name, form, qualities, and pastimes for your pleasure. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Tomorrow we will continue where Kalasudha will speak from chapters 7 to 12. If we have any questions or comments, we can take now. Okay, we have a question from Radhika Malipedi. Oh, it was just a comment. Thank you for the wonderful class. Thank you very much, Radhika Naam Mataji. Thank you, Meena Mataji, for your comments. Prem S has a question. What are the specific duties of Kshirodakshai Vishnu and Garbhodakshai Vishnu? And second question, if universes are created by Mahavishnu, what specific activity does Brahmaji do? Okay, let me speak on the second question first. Universes are created by Mahavishnu, that's correct. But Brahma is said to be the creator. Actually, Brahma is the engineer of the universe. Krishna, in the form of Mahavishnu, is the creator of these universes. But Brahma is the engineer. Krishna is the source of all the things that are available. Brahma just brings them together. What does an engineer do? An engineer simply takes these things, takes the available things, and makes some new things. The engineer does not create energy. Engineer just transfers energy from one form to another. Similarly, Brahmaji is just transferring the energy in one form to another. He's the engineer of the universe. Mahavishnu is the creator of the universe. What are the specific duties of Kshirodakshai Vishnu? Very good question. Kshirodakshai Vishnu is the Paramatma within the heart. He is the one who directs the form that we see in the material world. Anything has form because it has the Paramatma within them, the atoms. How come the electrons and the protons and the nucleus and all these things are moving in perfect unison? That's because Kshirodakshai Vishnu as the Paramatma is making it happen. He is the expansion who makes it happen. Does that answer your question? My screen is kind of frozen, but I can see. Yeah, and Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So what are the specific duties of Garbhodakshai Vishnu? He's from Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, the Trinity that we talk about. Garbhodakshai Vishnu is that Vishnu. He's the Vishnu who maintains the universe. Within each universe, there is the Garbhodakshai Vishnu. They maintain that particular universe. And, Brahma is the engineer, and the maintainer is Vishnu. Lord Shiva is the destroyer. Okay? Garbhodakshai Vishnu, all the incarnations come from Shri Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So we have another comment on Facebook, Divya Rajendra, Divyangi Mataji. We often take shelter of our material resources and strengths instead of depending on the Lord. Okay, so question is, can you let us know how we can take exclusive shelter of the Lord in the face of calamity? We often take shelter of our material resources and strengths instead of depending on the Lord. So very good question. Actually, a whole class can be given on this question. The question is, how can we take shelter of the Lord? What does it mean to take shelter of the Lord? This is very nicely explained in Sharanagati. It is explained that there are 6 elements of Sharanagati, of taking shelter. How can we say that we are taking shelter of anything? There are 6 things. Anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam, rakshishyati iti vishvaso, gopatritve varanam tatha, atmanikshepa karpanyam, shadvidha sharanagati. These are the 6. Anukulasya sankalpa, to do things that is favorable for devotional service. If we are doing things that are favorable for devotional service, we are actually taking shelter of the Lord. If we are chanting, if we are, then we are taking shelter of the Lord. If we are glorifying, we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, right now we are taking shelter of the Lord. This is exactly the meaning of taking shelter. We are absorbing ourselves in something which is favorable for our devotional service, for our love to develop for the Lord. That is taking shelter. Anukulasya sankalpaha pratikulasya varjanam, to say no to things which are detrimental to our devotional service. And then anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam, rakshishyati vishvaso. Once we are doing these 2 things, we are doing things that are favorable for devotional service, we are not doing things which are unfavorable, then we should have firm faith, rakshishyati iti vishvaso, that Krishna will protect me. There is no doubt about it. Now, how he protects, his protection may be different than what our expectation of the protection may be. But whatever way he protects is the best way for our protection. Sometimes we have our own ideas of, oh, how should I be protected? But rakshishyati iti vishvaso gopatritve varanam tatha atmanikshepa karpanyam. We should be very humble in front of the Lord. We should be very, humility is what attracts Krishna. And if we are doing these things and fully surrendering, atmanikshepa, then we know that we are taking shelter if we are doing these 6 things. I hope that answers the question. But we can discuss more later. Okay, so there is a question. Okay, here on Facebook as well as on YouTube, there is a question. G. Premalata, sometimes there is an envious attitude towards other Vaishnavas who are fortunate to do more service. How can I safeguard myself from this attitude? Okay, simple answer, glorify them. It may be very, very difficult, but that is the austerity that is needed. If we identify that we are feeling envious, we should be humble enough to accept, yes, I'm envious towards this devotee, and that's the situation that I'm in. How can I get out of it? The only solution is, even though it's very difficult, let me glorify this devotee. Let me glorify the good fortune of this devotee. Then, do you know what happens when we do that? When we glorify the devotee, we get the same mercy that devotee is getting. If we see that a devotee is getting a lot of mercy, Krishna is watching within our heart as the Paramatma. How are we reacting to that devotee getting mercy? Are we reacting in an envious way? Oh, I know how that devotee is. He's not. They're not really good. But or are we glorifying them? Are we saying, wow, they're so fortunate. If we just say that, we will get the same mercy that they are getting. This is proven by King Prataparudra. But we'll discuss more details. You can figure out how King Prataparudra deals with it. But if we are envious, then we block that mercy. So we have another question from Swati Pallod. I want to ask Prabhuji how we can develop mood of doing service in menial way, or in the way ki I want to do even though my guru is not seeing, but Krishna is watching everything. Please guide it. That is something which will happen if we are always aware of it. Before we start performing our service, we should not just dive into the service. We should take a moment and reflect, why am I doing this service? Who am I doing it for? Am I doing it because devotees will glorify me? Am I trying to do it well? For example, we are doing deity worship. Am I trying to decorate the deity so people will say, hey, you dressed so nicely? Or am I trying to actually serve the deity? Our mood in deity worship should be, actually, I'm not qualified to dress the deities, but my Guru Maharaj is qualified. He is not here. So my Guru Maharaj has given me, on his behalf, I'm dressing the deity. Actually, I'm really not qualified, but I'll try to do the best so that the glory goes to my Guru Maharaj. If we take a moment to reflect on this before we dive into our service, then everything will fall in place. Then we will actually be able to be in the mood of doing service, always remembering our Guru Maharaj, always remembering Krishna, and in a humble way, that I do not deserve it. If we think we deserve it, we do not deserve it. If we think we do not deserve it, then we actually deserve it in Krishna's eyes. And so, yeah, let's try to be in that mood. I hope that answers your question. Ashesha Gauranga Prabhu says, you mentioned Virat Rupa is imaginary. Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita intro, the manifestation of the world is not accepted as false. It is accepted as real but temporary. Appreciate your elaboration on this. Okay, thank you. Very good question. So this is true. He says that the manifestation of the world is temporary. The world is not imaginary, but the manifestation, sometimes it manifests and sometimes it doesn't manifest. Just like a fist sometimes manifests. Right now it is not manifesting, but if I do this, immediately my fist is manifested. So the fist is real, but it's unfalse in the sense that it is temporary. Similarly, the Virat Rupa of the Lord is imaginary in the form that it is, in the sense that it is temporary, not in the sense that it doesn't exist. It does exist. We are not saying Virat Rupa does not exist. Of course, as the word imaginary is used by Srila Prabhupada in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam about Virat Rupa, but it is imaginary in the sense that it is temporary. Na sate vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata. Anything which does not sustain is considered to be false, as according to Bhagavad Gita. So yes, in that sense, it is imaginary in the sense that it is temporary. Very good point that you brought out. Thank you very much. Radhika Kasturi Mataji, can you please clarify the timeline of Sutta Goswami with regards to Shukadev Goswami? How many years after Shukadev Goswami? That's a very good question. I'll have to get back to you on that, but very soon after that, because uh, Shukadev Goswami spoke to Maharaj Parikshit about, was it 30 years, 30 years after disappearance of Lord Krishna. So Maharaj Parikshit was the grandson of Arjuna, and so Arjuna left and Krishna left, disappeared, and after 30 years of Krishna's disappearance, Maharaj Parikshit was cursed. And so very soon after that, it is said actually, very soon after that, this Sutta Goswami pastime happened. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for beautiful answer. Thank you very much, Swati Mataji. Any other questions on Facebook? Okay. Oh, very happy to see Eduardo, our good friend Eduardo from the Simple Living High Thinking Gatherings. Thank you very much for joining. Divyangi Lalita Mataji, can you please once again share the verses in which the 6 questions were answered? Yes, sure. The 6 questions. The first question was answered. They are all in the first canto, first chapter. Okay, so I'm just going to say the verse number. They are all in the first canto, first chapter. The first question is in the 9th verse. Second question is in the 11th verse. The third question is in the 12th verse. The fourth question is in the 17th verse. Fifth one is in the 8th verse, and then the last one is in the 23rd verse. So 9, 11, 12, 17, 8, and 23. I'm sorry. I would like to apologize that we thought that we should be able to complete in 30 minutes. And I was trying my best to go really fast. I hope everyone was able to keep pace with that. But this is how these sessions would probably go. If we have to cover 6 chapters in 30 minutes, 40 minutes, we have to go really fast. So this is an overview that we are giving, which sometimes many people do not have it. We get stuck in reading 1, 2, 3 chapters and we don't get an entire overview. So we just want to emphasize that this is just an overview. If you want details of each chapter, we'll start a series after this. After we are completed with the overview, we'll start a series where we'll go detail into each chapter. But right now, we are going on a whirlwind. You're getting an overview of 6 chapters a day or a canto a week kind of thing. All right. I hope all your questions are answered. Please feel free to share your questions. And we look for your association again tomorrow, where we will have many more pastimes about Kunti Devi, about this was tomorrow. What Kalasudha will describe will be the first time that we will meet Lord Krishna personally in Srimad Bhagavatam. If you want to meet Lord Krishna personally in Srimad Bhagavatam, please don't miss tomorrow's class, tomorrow's discussion, and from 7th to 12th chapter. So far, we have only been glorifying Krishna, but we have not met Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam. Tomorrow we'll meet that. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. There is one more question. Can you please share again the cantos on which these questions are answered? Okay, very quickly, the last question. Thank you very much. The first question is answered in the 2nd chapter, 6th, 7th, and 27th verse. I'll go really fast, so make sure you're making notes. The second question is answered in 6th, 7th, and 28th verse. The third question is answered in the 2nd chapter, 34th verse. Also in the 8th chapter of the 1st canto, and cantos 9 and 10. They describe why Krishna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appeared. The fourth question about the acts of the Lord in creation is explained in the 1st canto, 2nd chapter, 30 to 33 verse, also in 3rd and 4th cantos. The 5th question, activities of the incarnation of the Lord, is there in the 3rd chapter of the 1st canto. And where have the religious principles gone after Krishna's disappearance is in the 3rd chapter, 43rd verse of the 1st canto. All right. Thank you all very much. Very happy, very grateful for your association. Hare Krishna.